am here today to finish the story. I told you guys that I would be more consistent and that I'd be filming, so I definitely will do that. I'm pretty sure people are going to be driving by wondering why am I talking to myself, but it ain't none of their business, so here we are. So yeah, before I get started, y'all, look at my sweatshirt, how cute. I love me some Bob Ross. It says Happy Trees University. If you know Bob Ross, you know why it says Happy Trees. As a kid, we didn't have cable, and it's not like my parents couldn't afford cable. I don't know why they didn't want it. I guess they were always working, and so like they were like, we're not home to watch it. So I would go next door to my aunt's house and watch Nickelodeon and all that stuff. But when I was home, I watched Bob Ross. I watched animal documentaries, space documentaries, like all that. A Reading Rainbow, Magic School Bus, Arthur. Y'all, I loved me some LPP, but Bob Ross was my dude, right? So when me and CJ got married, at night, like when I was trying to like settle down and stuff, I'd put on like Bob Ross videos, or I'd put on like some type of ocean documentary or something like that, and he'd be like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "Shh, just watch, just watch." Now he loves it too. He loves it too. So yeah, anyway, I had to show y'all my little sweatshirt. I can't even talk. I had to show y'all my little sweatshirt because I will be wearing it probably a lot. So prepare to be sick of it. I love Bob Ross. If I can find another one, I'm gonna wear that one too. But I hope you are doing well today. I came back really, not to make this video too long, but more so just to kind of touch on like what I said in the last video. I know a lot of people were like, where were you? What happened? Why aren't you filming anymore on the Itchy Scalp channel? And like I said in the last video, I don't know, man. Like our channel just kind of got flagged. But it wasn't just us. Like I know like in the comments, someone said, you know, it's probably somebody that I know. And I mean, I don't know. I just, you know, and not to point out that comment or like nothing against that person. I mean, I get why you said that. But, honestly, it was all the dandruff channels. It was like, I feel like it was all of the dandruff channels, pimple popping channels. Like it made it hard for everybody because a lot of people at that time were talking about how other creators who did like the dandruff scratching videos were saying the same thing. And I know like those of you who came across my video, y'all probably like dandruff scratching. Y'all listen. I'm a stay-at-home mom. When I was a student, and I randomly came across some videos of people scratching dandruff, and they had a bunch of views, and I was like, my husband has dandruff, so who's about to hop on YouTube and get a piece of that is me. And so that's what I did. He has like seborrheic dermatitis, and yeah, I made videos, and those videos went crazy, and I made pretty decent money to say I stayed home, you know. I mean, I also had like a baking business too. So, like I did different things, like I dabbled, but I mean, YouTube was a good little side hustle. But like I said in the other video, I initially didn't start YouTubing just to like my idea to start YouTube wasn't just to make money per se. I mean, yeah, I wanted that to be part of it. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was just making videos just to make videos. Like that was definitely part of why I wanted to do it. I wanted that freedom to like be with my family and live the way I want to live, of course. But my initial purpose for wanting to create a YouTube channel was to find people that I relate to. Not really just that, but it's like, you know how you go through things in life and you know that there's a purpose, that you went through those things, and so you feel like you need to share that and maybe it can help somebody else, that type of thing. But when I started, it was just like, I started with the Itchy Scalp channel, and it just kind of grew from there. And then we did Eating with the Alexanders, which is now turned into Hanging with the Alexanders. So yeah, when that whole Itchy Scalp channel thing happened, and we were no longer able to make money from it, they were flagging every video, and I'm not even sure why. YouTube, that is, saying that the content wasn't suitable for like all audiences, and I don't know, y'all, like I don't know, I'm not even like harping on it anymore, but I truly feel like if it was truly meant for me, if that's what God wanted me to do on YouTube, it wouldn't have happened. I don't feel like anybody would have been able to do anything unless God allowed it to happen. And I feel like I got very comfortable making money that way, and he was like, nah, like I want you to do this on YouTube and you want to do that, so I'm gonna take this away because I told you to do that, so I'm gonna be obedient and I'm gonna come and do what he told me to do. So today's video is about like postpartum depression, right? So when I got pregnant with Zane, I'm looking at the time, y'all. So if y'all see me looking up, that's what I'm doing. But when I got pregnant with Zane, I wasn't expecting a fourth baby. I just wasn't. We were like, using different contraceptive type methods, non-hormonal, but like, because we thought we were done. And so when I got pregnant with baby number 4, your girl was shocked. And I struggled with it for a little while because I was scared. I'm like, stuff high, and we having a fourth baby, and I'm not where I want to be career-wise, and CJ is not working in the career field that he really, really wants, which is he has a degree in information system security, but he's driving trucks, and I mean, he likes that too, but it's, when you really want to do something, anyway, in order for him to do what he really wants to do, it requires him to take a pay cut to get that experience, as far as we know. Or, I mean, where we live is kind of like, it depends on who you know where we live. It's who you know. Not what you know always. It's who you know. So I'm going to leave that at that for now. But yeah, all that to say, we weren't expecting to have a fourth baby. And I was just like, okay. Like, we knew we could take care of a fourth baby. Like, financially, we knew we could take care of a baby. But I have C-sections. Like, I had 4. And then I have, like, hyperemesis gravidarum. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, I believe I am. I had that all 4 pregnancies. So yeah, I don't look forward to pregnancy because it's not a good experience for me. As much as I love my children, pregnancy is not a good experience for me. Like, I lose 25 to 30 pounds every pregnancy from not being able to eat. Like, I literally, TMI, I start to, my esophagus gets so raw from being so sick. You get my drift? Because, I mean, some people are squeamish. It gets so raw that, like, I'm gonna just tell y'all, I literally will vomit blood sometimes from the constant being sick and vomiting, to the point to where this is raw. It's the stomach acid, like, eroding at my esophagus. Y'all, like, when I tell y'all I go through it. So that's what I meant in the last video when I said I'm so used to bouncing back mentally, because after that, like, you want to do all the things after you had a baby and you didn't enjoy your pregnancy. So once you're, like, no longer sick, you're like, okay, I want to go do this with the kids. I want to do this with my family. I want to, like, I usually jump back into things that mentally I can do that. But this time I couldn't. And, it started with not feeling like just being overwhelmed and anxious all the time. Like, just like not feeling like I could handle too much at once. Like, getting flustered, getting irritated. So, I mean, I guess that would have been more like anxiety, because, like, I don't know. Like, it's just I was very flustered all the time. Oh, y'all, let me get this that phone call wasn't just any phone call. So that's all I'm going to say for right now. I don't know. I feel like I'm already adding stuff to my already busy plate, but I mean, it is what it is. I wanted a little part-time job, but mind you, y'all know I got 4 kids. I have 4 kids. I wanted a part-time job, and I am a student, and my husband works away for most of the month, sometimes almost an entire month. At one point it was an entire month at a time. So yeah, I'm probably crazy, but we're gonna make it work, or at least we're gonna see what happens. I mean, hey. Anyway, to pick up where I left off, I was literally just talking about being flustered, y'all. I had to go and get a coffee, calm my nerves. I don't know about y'all, but like coffee does the opposite. It doesn't wake me up. It calms me down when I'm anxious. It's probably not the best way. I don't know if it's hot drinks or if it's just coffee, but anyway, I'm gonna say it's my emotional support drink. Like, if y'all watch Valencia's life, I love me some Valencia. And when she gets her coffee, she calls it her emotional support drink. If you know, you know. This is gonna be my emotional support drink today, because y'all, it's a lot happening right now, and your girl trying to just keep track of it all. So yeah, I'm making my already busy life a little bit busier, but we're gonna be all right. We're gonna figure it out. Okay, so pretty much like I was telling you, my pregnancies were rough, and I'm trying to see how much time I have left, y'all. So my pregnancies were already rough, and I was just ready to get back into, like, the groove of things, but for whatever reason, I could not get back into it. I don't know, like, everything just seemed like it was too much. Like, I would cry, like I would get overwhelmed, like, all the time. And Xavier was going through some things. He was starting kindergarten at the time. And y'all, when he was in kindergarten, like, we would have to go get this boy like almost every day. Like, he would scream and he'd cry, and like, it was a lot, like, nonstop. And it wasn't like, oh my God, I just miss my mom and dad so much, I need them to come get me. Like, he was so overstimulated. Like, he had something going on, and at the time we couldn't figure out what it was. And all we knew was we had to figure out something quick, because then it got to the point to where he was being suspended. And he wasn't even being suspended because, like, oh, he's hitting a child, or it wasn't even anything like that. It was more so of him, like, screaming and crying and not being able to calm himself down. So, like, one particular time he was suspended, he took off running, like, towards the door. He didn't run outside, but, like, he took off running. You don't know why he did that. He was, like, anxious and screaming, like it was the tiniest thing that set him off. He took off running. And they were like, oh, no, we can't have that. Like, that's a danger. Suspension. And I'm like, whoa, suspension? Like, we've already established that this is not a behavioral issue, and it's something that he cannot control. Because at the time, I was bringing him to the doctor. Like, I was doing my research. I was trying to figure it out. The doctor, like, he's just going to grow out of it. And I'm like, nope, something's going on. Because if y'all remember from my old videos, I talked about the fact that my child was, like, vaccine injured. Now, look, this is not even going to be a channel where we talk about who's for vaccines, who's not. I'm not against or for anything in particular. I am for what works best for my children. That's it. That's all. In the case of my child, he started to have bad reactions after a particular one. Actually, after several of them, and I pointed it out to the doctor, who ignored it at the time. And after one of them, he started having some really bad side effects that would not stop until we brought him to a naturopath. And that's why my child is healthy now. God's showing me, like, what was wrong with him, giving me dreams and visions, and, like, look, this is what you need to do. So I followed, and thank God my child is okay to this day. But there were things that kind of resurfaced that made me think back to what happened to him when he was younger. And I was like, what's going on with my kid? It's going to all make sense when I tell y'all what was going on with him. So he's like, it would be like the tiniest thing that would set him off, and he's like screaming and crying. And meanwhile, y'all, like I already told y'all, I am going through it. Like, the tiniest thing is setting me off. I'm crying all the time. Like, I don't know, like, it's like the tiniest thing is making me overwhelmed. So, like, picture you trying to take a nap, like, because you're exhausted. You're breastfeeding the baby, and you're, like, with a newborn, like, all day long, and you're doing this and you're doing that. And then you're getting calls from, like, the school on top of that. And, like, I'm worried because I'm like, man, they're going to kick my kid out of school. Like, he just started. Like, I don't want him to have, like, you know, this on his record. This is a magnet academy. This is not even a school he's zoned for. You have to, like, apply to get into the school, like, and get, like, picked in, like, this lottery and all of that stuff. His brother had already been going there, and if you know Zayden is a straight A honor roll student, doesn't have behavior issues. So it's like, you know, and then his little brother starts, and it was like, what's happening? And Xavier is not a bad kid, but at that time, we didn't know what was going on with him. So he gets suspended because he starts running towards the door while having a fit over something. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what set him off. I think somebody was looking at him, y'all. Like, I don't know. And he would not calm down. Like, and when I say having a fit, like screaming, crying, again, not hitting anybody or anything like that. So the second time he got suspended, this little boy kept, like, once the kids kind of knew what got to him, then it kind of became funny with this one little kid, and he would kind of, like, stare at him on purpose just to set him off. So then he, what happened? Xavier had a fit about that, and then, like, the principal was like, oh, well, we're gonna have to suspend him because he lunged at him. And I'm like, he lunged? Like, did he hit him? He was like, no, but he was going to. I'm like, oh, so, like, we reading minds now, because you automatically knew that my child, who's not violent, was gonna, baby, I'll tell you what, Xavier is strong. Thank God he is not violent. That is something he is not, because if he was, Xavier was in martial arts for a little while, and that little boy hits hard. Like, he hits hard. Like, Xavier got some hands on him. So, no, he's not a violent child. He's very friendly. The teachers would constantly say that they wish they could figure out how to calm him down, because they could see that he really wanted to be there, and he would cry when I had to pick him up. I was being called, like, at one point almost every day. Like, when the phone rang and I saw the school's name, I would cry. And CJ, poor thing, he didn't know what to do, because I'm usually like, I I can handle it. Like, I could usually handle like stuff like that, and then on top of whatever else is going on. But I don't know, like, I knew something was up with me because everything just felt like too much. I always felt anxious and down and hopeless, and like, you know, but even though I used to be a nursing student, it didn't dawn on me that this was like postpartum anxiety / depression. It just didn't dawn on me, right? So anyway, throughout this, I'm like, I'm gonna figure out what's going on with my son. So I'm like researching and I'm looking, and like I reached out to the old naturopath that we used to go to, and like she suggested genetic testing. She thought it was MTHFR, which is child, I don't even want to lie to you, I don't even remember what that stands for, but basically MTHFR is like something genetic where your body does not absorb enough B vitamins, right? So in his situation, he tested negative for that particular thing, but MTHFR is like your body can only it can only break down or metabolize certain forms of B vitamins, like the methylated forms. And in his situation, it wasn't MTHFR, but he did need, it's almost like he reacts similar. It's like he needs the B vitamins in order to help himself. Like, his body is still deficient, but I'm sorry, y'all, I'm having a hard time like right now trying to gather my words. So he's deficient in the B vitamins, but he doesn't have MTHFR. So basically, when you don't have enough B vitamins, it affects your body's ability to detox, and it affects your body's ability to self-regulate. Because from what I'm understanding, the B vitamins helps flush out is it norepinephrine or is it the epinephrine? Y'all, I'm rusty right now. Basically, like the buildup of this chemical. I want to say it's norepinephrine, but basically it causes anxious feelings, the buildup of that epinephrine, whether it's nor or epinephrine, I don't remember, y'all. I was a pharmacy tech, I was a nursing student, and then this happened back when my brain was all flustered. When I tell y'all, like, one is a drug and one is something naturally occurring, I don't remember. But anyway, all that to say, when there's a buildup of that, it causes anxious emotions, and he was not able to calm himself down because he didn't have enough B vitamins to do it. And on top of that, the B vitamins, like I said, enough of that allows your body to detox, and he was deficient in it. So think about it. A child that's genetically deficient in B vitamins for whatever reason and needs extra, they can't detox on their own without that extra B vitamin. That explains a lot about why he was having the reactions he had to vaccines. Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but in my child's, because people have reactions for different reasons, but in my child's situation, I'm like, that explains a lot. That could be related. That could be why he had the negative reactions he did, which is why I feel that people should be genetically tested at birth to see what they can have and what they can't. But, that's neither here nor there. Because people think stuff is one size fits all, and it's just not for everybody. All that to say, I bring him to a new naturopath that I heard about in the area because we thought it was MTHFR at the time, and I heard that she specialized in that. So I reach out to her, and my first consultation with this lady was amazing. I'm like, at the time I was like, no, I didn't have the results yet. I'm like, I can't wait for the results yet. I can't wait for the results. He's gonna get kicked out of school, because my other naturopath was like, we gotta wait for the results before we do anything. And I'm like, I don't have time. My child been suspended twice. He's not even hitting anybody. At this point, he's not doing anything to anybody, but he's screaming and crying because he can't calm down. And at this point, they're gonna tell me he can't go to school. And thank God my child at the time, academically, he knew a lot for a kindergartner. He was reading at a first, second grade level, and math, at least first grade level for math. So he was pretty prepared early, because had he not known the things he needed to know for kindergarten, he would have failed. That's how much school he was missing at the time. So thank God he was ahead. But yeah, I bring him to this new naturopath, and I'm like, I need your help. I don't know what to do, because if I don't figure out what's going on with my son, he's going to get kicked out of school, and I don't have time to wait for the results the other naturopath wants me to do. I need something now. Can we try something now? Because my pediatrician was like, I'm not putting him on ADHD meds. And I'm like, I'm not asking you for that. I'm just asking you for answers. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on with my kid. Like, I'm not going to put him on any type of medication unless we tested him and, like, let's say he did have it, but I still, like, prefer to try other things first, like maybe change diet, do this, do that. But at this point in time, we didn't have time for anything. I'm like, this kid about to get kicked out of school. So, mind you, I'm still dealing with postpartum depression / anxiety that I didn't even know I had yet. So they calling me, I'm crying. I'm like at SBLC. I'm at SBLC meetings and this and that, like trying to come up with a plan and figuring out what's going on with my kid. And I'm like, I am working with a doctor. I'm working with different people. I'm figuring it out. Y'all just give me time. They looking at me like, kind of like, well, the teachers were on my side. Even like Zayden's teachers were on my side. But at the time, I feel like the principal was just a little skeptical. Like, But I'm like, I'm about to show him. Like, I know what I'm talking about. So all that to say, go to the new naturopath. She was like, we're going to try him on these B vitamins because it couldn't hurt. Based on what you're describing to me, B vitamins, I mean, he's not going to overdose on it. Like, this is the dose that you give him. And, like, we're going to try this and see if you notice a difference while we're waiting on those results. Y'all, within a week, he was a different kid. Within a week, he was a different kid. Like, this was just a B vitamin supplement. A liposomal, a liquid B vitamin supplement. And he was a different kid. Calm, happy to be there, and was able to function. And he was so happy. And I don't know, like it helped. Like, I mean, I felt like relieved, like, oh my God, thank God my child is okay. But then we got answers once the results came in. We got the genetic results, and we just realized that genetically there were some areas that, like, he needed more supplement, like he needed supplementation to help him, like, function the way he needed to. And yeah, so genetic testing was amazing for him. We put him on a B vitamin and magnesium regimen. The boy is thriving. We had a little situation this semester where he wasn't focusing as much, like in math, and we put him on an L-theanine. And that's something like for focus and stuff. He's doing really well. He's doing so well. Like, you would never know that was the same kid from kindergarten. He is now a second grader, and you would never know that he went through that in kindergarten. So all that to say, this is just kind of like the shortened, condensed version of what happened, because I don't want to make this video too long. But, like, the principal was like, wow. Like, he was shocked. I still have teachers calling me, asking me, what was it that I did to help Xavier? What was it that I did? Because it was such a drastic change that teachers that I didn't even know were, like, asking questions, like, you know, trying to figure out what happened, because they're noticing that situations are occurring with other children that seem very similar to what was going on with Xavier. I don't know what's going on with our kids, y'all. Like, I don't know if it's the food. I don't know if it's something in the air. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of kids are having similar issues. And that's why, like, I'm making a video like this, just because if there's anything that I can do, or I don't know, if anything that I can say or do that can potentially help y'all get answers. Because going through postpartum depression and then, like, dealing with something like this where you have to advocate for your child, like, there were times I just felt like I was going to break down, you know. And poor CJ, like, he was very supportive and doing the best he could. But, I mean, he didn't know what I was feeling inside. I would tell him, but, like, he couldn't make it better. And that's what was so hard for him. He tried to make it better, but he couldn't, because it was something that I was dealing with on the inside. So we got Xavier squared away. Now it was time for me, right? Got him situated, and I'm like, why am I still feeling like I'm not okay? I go to the same naturopath. I'm like, I haven't felt okay. And by this point in time, I'm like a year or close to a year postpartum, and I'm like, I haven't felt okay this whole time. And I'm just like, you know, now that Xavier is fine, like, I need to figure out what's going on with me. I didn't do everything I was supposed to do. Like, I really wanted to set an entire consultation with her and, like, go through everything. But I did do the lab work she told me to do. So I did the lab work. She told me to check my total estrogen, because my doctor told me to check he was going to check my estrogen, and he checked my estradiol. That came back normal. My naturopath was like, okay, we're going to check your total estrogen. We're going to check your magnesium RBC, and I forgot what all she checked. But my total estrogen was out of whack. And you can only check that between, I think, the 19th and, like, 21st day of your cycle. That was out of whack. So I was like, what can I do? She was like, girl, your estrogen is so high. Like, it was like 700 something. And she was like, that explains a lot. Oh, and my vitamin D was extremely low. But low vitamin D can cause depression. And guess what high estrogen can cause as well? Depression. So I had low vitamin D, and I had low vitamin D, and I had really high estrogen, which is scary because that can cause like high estrogen related illnesses, like, you know, breast cancers and this and that and like stuff I'm not claiming at all. I don't claim any of that. But, you know, like, it's scary. Like, you know, like, I was like, okay, well, what can I do? So she was like, okay, well, for now, I can put you on a supplement called DIM if you want to try DIM. So DIM is a supplement that releases the excess estrogen. And I never had issues with hormones until I got on birth control in my early 20s. Y'all, I got on birth control at like 21, 22 at 115 pounds. And I have struggled with weight ever since. Like, after that, my estrogen, like, was extremely high. And I didn't know. Like, I just had, like, high estrogen-related symptoms, struggled with weight, you know, all of that stuff. But all that to say, I'm going to start wrapping this video up because I actually have to go in for an appointment in a little bit. But, she put me on DIM. And when I was on DIM and working out, y'all, I could actually drop the weight. Like, I could actually drop weight. Like, if I'm consistent. Now, don't look at me now because, look, I gained that back. Like, I gained some of that back, just not doing what I have to do and getting anxious again and stuff, but I had stopped taking it. But when I was on DIM, spelled DIM, consistently, and worked out, the weight came off consistently and easily, which is how I used to be. That's how my metabolism used to be. I never struggled with weight loss before birth control. Had to get off of birth control because after trying, I can't even talk. I'm trying to hurry up. After trying 5 different kinds, my doctor was like, you're just not one of those people who could take birth control. Like, it affects your hormones too much. Like, you're having horrible side effects. Like, it's affecting your mental health and this and that. Like, you just can't take it. And he didn't leave me with many options because he also didn't recommend a tubal ligation for me. So I'm like, sir, like, what do I do? Like, yeah, that's another story. But all that to say, I am much better now. I am actually about to sign up at a gym that is really close to me instead of one that's a little bit further away, so that I have no excuse, because that's going to be part of me getting my mental health in check and fitness, you know, journey going. And I will take y'all along for that whole entire process, that whole journey and what I'm doing and everything. So yeah, I'm back on the DIM supplement until I can regulate my hormones in a way to where I no longer need it. And a lot of that is going to happen with weight loss, because guess what? Excess fat also increases your estrogen. So does cortisol, high cortisol levels, and all of that. And the high cortisol levels are coming from stress. So then, like, it's holding on to the weight, and then, like, the high estrogen is holding on to the weight, and you get my drift. There's a whole cycle. So I'm going to be getting back healthy so that I can feel healthy again and be mentally where I want to be. I'm so much better now, but I'm still not exactly where I want to be, y'all. So, yeah. Thank y'all for watching me ramble. I just kind of wanted to touch on what I told you guys I'd talk to you about. I'm going to get more in depth probably in another video. If you guys have any questions about what I talked about in today's video, just let me know, and I'll discuss it again in the next video, or touch on it more, go deeper in the next video. So if you guys want to know anything, just comment below, and thank you guys again for watching. Bye.